solo ball left in him sometimes. Like you only
I,
live once. I'm gonna try this out. You know.
I didn't understand then. Like as I thought he grew out. I thought he was growing out of that. Hold on. I thought
Mm-hmm.
he was growing out of that. But next thing I know, he just throws it, and he threw more picks this game. He's like tied for second for interceptions with like Matthew Stafford. And
Mm-hmm.
the number one guy is obviously that brother over in Matt Ryan with the Colts, who got
Yeah, him
nine.
and Matthew Stafford. Yeah, they going tit for tat.
So I think the MVP conversation has passed by unless for some reason through the rest of the season he can figure out how to not throw interceptions. But
Absolutely.
we keep it pushing. Uh the Bengals have an amazing performance as they head into their bye week on a high note, a Mariah Carey style Christmas music high note, as
Mm-hmm.
they beat the Carolina Panthers 42-21. Takes the Panthers to 2-7, takes the Bengals to 5-4. Um, Joe Mixon. That's Sauce Gardner, and Joe Mixon are my two players of the week this week. Mixon, man, I, how can I say this? I knew Mixon would be good for them, but I never expected him to have no 5 touchdown game. I'm sorry. I think it's five. One, two. What's that Kobe gif? 1, 2, 3, 5. You know what I mean?
Yeah, four on the ground, one receiving. Absolutely.
It's crazy, right? Um, he was trying to push it all to the middle of the table like McCaffrey did last week. But
Mm-hmm.
hey, that was a statement game for the Bengals, and maybe they can use this to catapult them the rest of their season because this win just takes them right above 500, and they're not supposed to be here. You know what I mean? They're supposed to be better than this, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Take it for somebody who played against Joe Mixon in fantasy football this week. That he did have a monster game. The guy that I played against single handedly, made it a competitive game because of Joe Mixon. But yeah, they needed Joe Mixon to step up this game. They don't haven't had a semblance of a running game with all this season because their offensive line stinks. They can't run block. They can't pass block. And they needed somebody to step up with the absence of Jamar Chase, who's out, 4 to 6 weeks with this injury, and
Yeah.
they haven't been able to get anything with the passing game going too much with Higgins and Boyd because they've been getting double teamed.
And they
Since,
got a break by playing these Panthers too. I mean, I know they
exactly.
won last week, but that's a break playing these
Yeah,
guys.
yeah. The Panthers. Yeah, they're trying to figure out what they're gonna do later on. Like I think I know get that brother Steve Wilkes some credit. He has put some fight in him. They had a chance to win that Falcons game, and the kicker makes an extra point or a field goal in overtime. They win that game. But
Yeah.
we know what that said. They're in they even though they drafted Corral last year, they're more likely in the C.J. Stroud, Bryce Young, sweepstakes. So
Uh, Steve Wilkes is my dude, believe it or not. But I still think he got a raw deal. But I hope the best for him. But we keep it pushing. Hey,
yeah,
Green.
but yeah, the Bengals, I'll just wrap it up. The Bengals, they need to, like I said, they got to take this bye we can get right because they're looking up at the 6-3 Baltimore Ravens who just put on a great performance last night. So they got to get right and get a chance to try to fight for this division and that they're in right now.
Yes, sir. Let's go to this Detroit Lions game. So the Detroit Lions beat up a division foe in Aaron Rodgers Packers, which is something that you don't normally hear about. Um, because shoot, Green Bay normally beat up on a lot of people,
Mhm.
but the defense, I so much of me wants to say that the Lions took this game, but I don't think Aaron Rodgers is even interested in playing football anymore. I think he just would much rather be on what's his face podcast and just talking.
Yeah,
I
Pat
think
McAfee. Yeah,
I think he wants to be a guest on the 100 Yard Dash podcast.
yeah, absolutely fast. Yeah, like this was my lock of the week. Like I believed I said I've been saying all week to my friends, to coworkers, everybody. I said, hey, the Lions beating the Packers week. And everybody looking at me like, what? But it's just that the Packers are in so much disarray, man. Like I'm sick of this dude, Aaron Rodgers, man. I'm just so sick of that dude. Like
It's
that
it's
dude.
it's weird, man. I think everybody's sick of him. A lot of
Yeah,
people.
man, and he's not playing well. And instead of owning the fact that he's not playing well, he wants to say, "Well, these other people not doing right. They need to get their reps cut." And he's trying to throw everybody on the bus, but himself. The dude just not playing well. Like I think a couple years ago, them drafting Jordan Love, they had the right idea because he wasn't playing well then. You know, he ultimately had two back-to-back MVP seasons, but up until that point, when they drafted Love, Aaron Rodgers was playing badly, just like he's playing now. And it's like some guys have a gradual, decline. His is just right here, right now. And I love Devontae Adams. I think Devontae Adams is a great player, but he wasn't, him being missing didn't make everything fall apart. You know, they had to fall apart in some areas. They can't stop the run on defense. Now they lost their best pass rusher now. Rashawn Gary out for the season with a torn ACL. So
Yeah,
I think
that's
wheels are
bad.
just falling off there in Green Bay. And then I think it starts with Aaron Rodgers.
It starts with the Green Bay Packers front office. They allowed, in my opinion, they allowed uh, Aaron Rodgers to control what they normally do when they didn't allow Brett Favre to do the same thing. In my opinion, they didn't allow Brett Favre to do the same thing. Yeah, Brett Favre came back to bite them, but they still were a winning organization, and they allowed somebody to take them out of their game plan because Jordan Love wasn't ready, and that scared them. And now we sitting here looking at how it looks with this Aaron Rodgers, which I wasn't expecting. And dude throws 3 picks. I mean, he's thrown for less picks in the whole season for real. If we gonna be honest, it's wild to see this drop off of one of the most prolific throwers of the football we've ever seen. It's wild to see this drop off. So Hutchinson, that INT return for a touchdown, that was pretty dope for a hometown kid in Detroit.
Mhm.
For him to have that kind of play there was pretty good for him. But I don't I don't know. Do you think I think Mr. Campbell is on the hot seat, and I think this win kind of stifles that a little bit. I think
He
it
absolutely on
helps.
the hot seat.
Yeah, he's on the hot seat, but I think this helps. This
Mhm.
helps. I
It
don't.
does.
I think they're going in a different direction next season, but this is one of those wins that helps him stay for this season and finishes it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they needed one of these, man. They don't had too many heartbreakers the last two seasons where it's like they're this close. Like they needed to have a
Mhm.
game where they finished three goal line interceptions, three red zone rather interceptions, uncharacteristic of Aaron Rodgers. But like you said,
Yes,
it shows this interest and he's not invested like he normally is. That's some stuff that he don't do. That's 9 guaranteed points. He lost that game 15-9. You get 3 field goals, you win that game 18-15. So
right.
um and against and like you said, against the Lions who coming into that game had the worst defense in the league statistically,
The
every
worst.
metric. Yeah, the worst defense in the league. So for them to only conjure 9 points out of that, it's very stifling. But it lets you know how bad it is down there in Green Bay. Is it 4 straight losses?
Yeah,
Uh,
four
Jets,
straight.
Commanders, Jets, Commanders. I mean, yeah, Jets, Giants, Commanders, and now the Lions. And next thing you know, now the Cowboys rolling into town this week. So it's not getting any easier for the Packers.
Hey,
Not with Michael Parsons. I saw what happened. He licking his chops right now. He trying to catch Judon in the sack race. So
look, boy, look, boy, this could be his jump off right here. This could be
man,
his jump off because he's
he might
still
pack it
going.
in the middle of the season.
He,
Hey, let Jordan Love get some reps. Hey, I'm done.
I mean, let's be honest, because I was sitting here thinking, don't they got a 2-year deal with this guy?
Yeah, they
But I
got
think,
they got a lot of cap for this year and next year. They're $50 million a season for the next, for this season and next season. So they stuck with
but I
this dude.
is is it a 1-for-1 or is it a 2-year deal?
It's
I don't.
it's a 2 year deal. It's 50. It's 100 million guaranteed. They stuck with this dude, man. Like he got to play next year.
Well, even though they got to play, they'll be drafting a quarterback because at this point, what are you waiting on? Like for real,
Exactly.
what are we waiting on? This is a great class coming up. You got 2 first round picks.
Yeah.
You might as well go for it. But we keep it pushing, man. The Colts, who fired their head coach, lose to the Patriots 26-3. Takes the Colts to 3-5-1. Takes the Patriots to 5-4. And like I said, they fire their coach, which is not the. I mean, to me, that's not the newsworthy thing. For real, for real. When we look at it, the newsworthy thing is the fact that they hired Jeff Saturday as the interim coach, former center for the Colts. Who else did he play for? Did he play for the Patriots?
He played for the Packers for 1 season.
I never
Yeah,
remember that.
he played 14 seasons, 13 with the Colts. In his last season, he played with Aaron Rodgers. I
Okay,
want to say it was 2014 season.
yeah, man, and it's an interesting choice. It's an interesting choice of your interim head coach, but I know Jeff Saturday was on. He was on NFL
ESPN.
Live,
Yeah, yeah.
ESPN 3 days ago. Next thing I know, he head coaching, and I don't think I've ever heard of a center that. I don't think I've ever heard of a center playing coaching in the NFL. So this is against the grain, I guess.
Yeah, I'm not gonna be too long on this. He has been a consultant for the team over the last couple of
Yeah,
seasons. Ursay loves him. I think Ursay they had a Ring of Honor ceremony for one of his former teammates, Tori Glenn, a couple of weeks ago. So all of them was in the building. Peyton Edge, that guy that I will not mention his name for obvious reasons because he's known to shoot people. But
man,
I think that Ursay kind of wanted that. He saw those guys and was like, man, them were the good old days. Bill Polian
yeah,
was there,
yeah,
and I think he wanted some semblance of that. But I also think, the conspiracy theorist in me believes that he knows that this season's lost, and just get somebody out there that not going to try to win no games, and let's try to get a quarterback the old-fashioned way. Because their model of trying to get a quarterback through free agency, like to call them those retread quarterbacks, that hasn't worked out
yes,
for them. So maybe there are not that many losses out the column to possibly get one of those guys in the top five. So I could see that happening. But like, have you ever felt like you was in like one day you just woke up and was like, man, I'm alive. Like you kind of feel like you like in bizarro world. That's how I felt when I woke up and saw that news. Like that's unprecedented to hire a guy as an interim coach that he has high school coaches experience in a high school in Georgia, but no college experience, no NFL head coaching experience. Then
no.
who has a press conference for an interim coach? Like who does that? Like who has a press conference for that interim?
That's all. That is all true. And my thing, I don't know, man. Like I said, like you said, this is a play for the draft picks, and by the
Like
by,
my God, like you, like before you get next, they don't have anybody to call plays there. They don't have any offensive mind there to call the like who's going to call the plays. Like they fired the offensive coordinator last week. The active head coach and offensive coordinator, they fired him yesterday. They don't have a quarterbacks coach. Like they got John Fox and Gus Bradley on the state that could have been interim coaches because they got head coach experience. They went with Jeff Saturday. Like, who's going to call the plays? Matt Ryan? Like he's the only one that knows the playbook. Like, he's going
look,
to have him on pass and shoulder pass and a hat and calling plays with a headset on.
look, man. This is a suck for luck campaign, and you know it. We there is no Andrew Luck in this draft, but they ain't had a quarterback since Andrew Luck, so this is
Right,
obviously a suck
right.
for luck situation.
Yeah, four
Um,
different quarterbacks since Andrew Luck. Yep.
But I will say, let's watch out for the firing of Chris Ballard, their GM, because normally you don't get the opportunity to choose 2 head coaches or two
Yeah,
or
and
three
he
head coaches.
screwed that roster up. No receivers. The
Yeah,
offensive line is one of the highest offensive lines in the league, and they stink.
yeah.
They can't block anybody. So yeah,
You
absolutely.
don't
He didn't.
you don't you don't normally get the opportunity to choose two or three of those. So
Yeah,
just
he
watch out
mishandled
for
the
that.
cap, mishandled the draft picks. Yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
And I actually like Chris Ballard. He came from the Chiefs, but it is what it is. Sorry, my
Yeah.
my my
Before we
dog.
move on real quick, I'm gonna say this real fast. If the Raiders lose to the Colts this week, Mike McDaniel, not Mike McDaniel, Josh McDaniels need to be fired on the tarmac. They need to give him the Lane Kiffin treatment.